Hey everybody, Michael Snyder here, Pacific Northwest Weather Watch. Today is June 10th, and today we're going to take a look at the remnants of this atmospheric river moving through the region today. You can see the Gulf of Alaska troughing here is eventually going to put an end to this atmospheric river later on this weekend. We had pretty good rainfall amounts, a record rainfall day yesterday for SeaTac, 1.1 inches of rainfall. If you guys notice outside this morning, though, there are some sunbreaks, a pretty nice morning across portions of western Washington. It's not going to last, though. There's more precipitation headed our way, folks, as the second wave of this atmospheric river is going to really move in, mainly areas Seattle south, and the best amounts are still yet to come for eastern portions of Oregon and Idaho as this second wave of moisture takes aim at the Pacific Northwest here. Looking right into things here, you can see we have precipitation totals for yesterday, and you can see kind of that rain shadow effect in the downsloping off the Olympic Mountains here through areas of Port Towns and the San Juans, Whidbey Island. You see as we get away from that downsloping effect, you see the bigger totals there. Much of the Seattle area, Seattle downtown south, getting over an inch, sometimes an inch and a third as you get towards Tacoma and portions of Olympia here. You can see that rain shadow effect off the higher terrain southwest Washington and the Oregon coastal range affect some of the Willamette Valley here. But still pretty good amounts in Portland metro area, generally over 7/10 of an inch, lesser as you go through the Willamette Valley. Looking at the coastal range, generally over an inch, close to almost 2 inches in some areas here down through Oregon. The precipitation will be continuing on through the day today, and especially target areas of eastern Oregon on in through Idaho. But another wave of precip is coming through the area. Just how far will this precipitation get during the day today? We'll take a look at some of what the models are saying coming up here. But there's our record rainfall for June 9th, 1.1 inches of rain. The average is just a meager 0.05 of an inch. And you can see we are at 2.13 inches now. The normal for June is just a half an inch. So we're over 4 times above normal. And the record for this time of June is 2.69 in 1990. I believe the record rainfall for the month of June is 3.9 inches of rain. We could have an outside chance of even hitting that, depending on if we get the right parameters to line up here, but we'll go ahead and take a look at that in the extended forecast coming up here. But you can see we only got to 59 yesterday. That's 11 degrees below our average high and the record high set back in 1955 of 96. So you can see here, this is June 9th, and we did set an all-time record. The old record was 0.72 inches. That would have beat it either yesterday or today. In 2001, check that out. We got 1.16 inches of rainfall. But as we go through June, days with over an inch of rainfall become exceedingly rare. And as you go into July, check this out. We have never had a day in July where we've recorded an inch or more of precipitation at SeaTac. Maybe this will be the year to break that. Who knows? And now looking around the rest of the country, see the red flag warnings for portions of California and Arizona into Nevada, some heat advisories down through the southwest, but you can see our flooding concerns and hydraulic concerns with that atmospheric river through the Pacific Northwest here. Now taking a look here, this is the NAM 3KM. This is total precipitation from now on into later this weekend. You can see that second surge kind of come up this afternoon into mainly Seattle south across the region, but check out, it's still got a bullseye on Oregon. Look at the South Washington Cascades and the North Cascades of Oregon, and as it sags south through the Cascades of Oregon there too. You can see the precipitation totals building up through Northeast Oregon, in through the Idaho Panhandle, Western Montana as well. As we go on through the day Sunday, even another shot there as trough eventually starts to kick through here. And there's even going to be a thunderstorm threat for portions out here, Idaho and Oregon. We'll look at that coming up here. But this is looking, I wanted to show you the guys this on Sunday, kind of an interesting feature here coming through the day. Check out some of these helicity updrafts rolling through the eastern portion of Oregon into Idaho on the day Sunday. So there's going to be a chance of some thunderstorms, even some strong ones, but it depends on just how much we clear up and how much we destabilize during the day Sunday. That'll make all the difference on just how strong these thunderstorms are going through Sunday afternoon. But checking that out here, this kind of shows that precipitation that is around on the day Sunday morning. You can see these embedded stronger thunderstorms moving through the area with these helicity tracks. So we're going to have to watch that kind of closely. There could be some strong thunderstorms through the day Sunday, mainly eastern Oregon into Idaho. Gotten some tornado soundings out of those, but this will be very contingent on just how much we destabilize the atmosphere during the day. Very favorable wind profiles, nice unstable atmosphere here, very good low level instability here. That 3 kilometer cape shows that, really good shear values. But again, we would have to destabilize properly to take advantage of that. Now, this is the European showing precipitation totals starting as of this morning here, and you can see that bullseye for the Cascades in Oregon here, and bringing some good precipitation. Good agreement with the NAM there for southeast Washington, northeast Oregon, into the Idaho Panhandle here for additional precipitation. You can see Seattle getting up towards maybe another half an inch as we go through the day Sunday. And again, not much for California and Nevada. They could really use it down there. Now, looking at this is kind of the timing of the precipitation. You can see this second slug of moisture approaching the Oregon coast as we go through the afternoon today, and kind of Seattle south, the cutoff of the heaviest precipitation, and really targeting the Cascades of Washington and Oregon. You see even a second and third slug of moisture move into the Cascades of Oregon there. So pretty wet day coming up tomorrow for much of Oregon. Now, taking a look at this, I wanted to kind of highlight the fact that we are probably going to be dealing with the convergence zone on the day Sunday for the Puget Sound area. Anyway, you can see the winds coming down the strait pretty good here and wrapping around through the Chehalis Gap, meeting the Puget Sound classic convergence zone signature. I don't know if it'll be unstable enough to spawn a lightning strike. It's always a possibility, but the instability looks a little bit meager at this point. This is looking at the NAM. Let's just make sure this is up to date. Looks like it is here. I just wanted to kind of show you this trough as it eventually moves in and ends the atmospheric river and introduces that cooler air to the region. This would bring that strong thunderstorm threat to eastern Oregon, Idaho during the afternoon and evening on Sunday. But you can see this cold air overtake the region here. We get pretty chilly here at 10,000 feet. And let's take a look at the inner 50 millibar temperatures. Yeah, you can kind of see that cold air move into the region here and end that atmospheric river threat and bring that cold air over the area, keeping the showers and some precipitation going. Now, taking a look at the extended forecast here. Here's the European. 500 millibars, 18,000 feet. This is yesterday afternoon's run. Here's North America, Washington, Oregon, California, and Alaska. Gulf of Alaska trough going well. Eventually slides down, ending our atmospheric river for the region here as the trough settles over the northwest and the Intermountain West here. Some ridging builds up mid next week, but it doesn't seem to last for long as another trough takes over later on in through next week and sags down across much of the west coast of North America here. So it looks like we're going to stay active. We could be adding to our precipitation totals. And if we just happen to get some of these systems to line up correctly, we could start to threaten that all-time June precipitation record for Seattle. Now, taking a look at the GFS, let's see how much agreement we have there. Pretty good agreement the last several days on this trough kicking across the Intermountain West, which is no exception today. That doesn't really build much of a ridge through the mid next week, but still we might get a nice day or two out of this in this transition between troughs here. As this one kind of settles a bit further offshore, this would kind of tend to give us some warmer conditions across the Pacific Northwest. We'd get some offshore flow even with something like this. So we'll have to watch this. Pretty good discrepancy as we go on in through the extended here between the European and the GFS. And then as GFS finally starts to build that Gulf of Alaska trough, this cutoff low starts to get reabsorbed and brought back into the westerlies, it looks like, and ejects back over the Pacific Northwest. But we're getting a little bit far out into fantasy land. But for the most part, I mean, there's signal for troughing to continue on into later June. Looking at the European here, this is yesterday afternoon's ensemble run, generally below average through the 10-day here. But again, you saw some of that disagreement in the trough position between the GFS and the European. We'll continue to monitor that as we go through in the next few days here. Looking here at the GFS, calling for below average with that trough, and then it kind of, you can see how that troughing drops down over the west coast, and it might leave us in some warmer weather there as we go on through later next week. But big model disagreement there. But yeah, so enjoy that morning sunshine today. I mean, we had it here in Normandy Park, Western Washington. It wasn't too bad this morning, but that precipitation should be returning for much of the area. And Oregon, you're really not going to escape the clouds today, and you've got some pretty heavy precipitation rolling through the day this evening and tomorrow as well before this trough finally starts to shut that atmospheric river down. But it's going to keep precipitation chances going through the next few days, and there is going to be that chance for strong thunderstorms Sunday through eastern Oregon, Idaho. We'll see how that develops. Pretty favorable wind profiles, but how much will the atmosphere destabilize? So I'll probably be out chasing actually Sunday, Monday, somewhere out in Montana, Wyoming, and the the Dakotas out here. So I'll probably try to do a briefing one of those days when I'm out on the road again. I should be back either Tuesday or Wednesday, depending on how the severe threat goes. If Tuesday ends up looking really good, I'll probably hang out for one more day, then be back by Wednesday. But anyway, active weather continues. This trough's going to come over the region here. Convergent zone activity is possible, and we'll see which model wins out in the long range here. Are we going to get some continued troughing across the regions? That trough going to drop maybe a little bit further out of our area and give us some nice weather for a few days, and then redevelop a trough over the region. Just things to watch coming up here, and an outside chance of breaking that all-time June precipitation record for Seattle. Something fun to watch there. So yeah, you guys keep leaving comments in the below. Give me feedback, click like, and make sure to subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll talk to you guys tomorrow.